All right, let's talk about 2025. The business world is getting hit by three massive, sometimes competing forces. So today, we're going to break down exactly what they are, and more importantly, how you can actually use all this disruption to your advantage. So, what's the big question on everyone's mind for 2025? What's really going to define business success? I mean, what's the one thing that will separate the companies that thrive from those that just don't? Well, here's the thing. It's not just one magic bullet. The reality is that success in 2025 is all about the convergence of three huge, powerful forces that are totally reshaping our world. So let's dive in and unpack them. Okay, first things first, what are these forces we're talking about? And let me be clear, we're not talking about small, minor tweaks. No. These are the three big foundational trends that you absolutely need to be watching for 2025. All right, trend number one, and you could argue this is the biggest one of all, is AI-driven transformation. But hold on, this isn't about the old idea of just automating simple tasks. We've moved way beyond that. Now, it's all about what they're calling decision intelligence, where AI is basically your core partner in making those big strategic business decisions. And look, this isn't some niche futuristic idea anymore. Get this. A full 65% of senior execs are now saying AI is a primary driver for their growth. That number tells you everything you need to know, right? AI has officially left the server room and has a seat at the main table in the boardroom. And you can already see this stuff in action right now in the real world. Think about it. In operations, you've got automated inventory and shipping that respond instantly to new data. In finance, we're talking dynamic pricing and way smarter fraud detection. And for us, the customers, it means better, faster service thanks to those real-time chatbots. Okay, on to trend number two, sustainability. And this one has finally made the jump from being just a corporate buzzword, nice to have, to being an absolutely critical, non-negotiable part of any smart business strategy. It's not just a good idea anymore. The market is demanding it. And if you think this is just about feeling good, take a look at the money behind it. The global climate tech market is projected to grow at a compound rate of nearly 25% a year. I mean, think about that. This isn't just about ethics. This is a massive, massive economic opportunity. And that brings us to our third huge trend, the nonstop acceleration of fintech innovation. The way financial services are evolving is just wild. It's constantly unlocking new markets, new business models, and giving more people access to the financial world than ever before. And the sheer scale of this is just mind-blowing. We're not talking about a small, niche industry here. Look at these numbers. 313 unicorn companies, $170 billion in venture capital, and a total valuation of over $1.1 trillion. This is an absolute powerhouse that is fundamentally rerouting how money moves around the world. Okay, so we've covered the what, the three big trends, but that brings us to the most important question, right? The so what? How do you actually take these massive shifts and turn them into real, concrete strategies for growth? It all starts with a huge shift in mindset. You've got to move from the old way of thinking, where tech was just a way to replace people and cut costs, to the new approach, the winning approach. And that is using tech to make your people better, to enhance their capabilities and drive real growth. And the data backs this up. You see, 80% of companies are spending more on tech, but at the same time, 69% are also spending more on talent. It's not an either-or situation anymore, it's both. So this new way of thinking naturally leads to three core strategies. First, you adopt that technology-first approach. Then, you use it to build internal systems that are truly scalable. And what does that do? It lets you deliver these incredible, customer-centric, personalized experiences. We're talking about something that can have a 2 or even 3 times impact on your bottom line, and you can do it without having to constantly hire more people. Okay, so let's look at a real-world example of how all this comes together. And honestly, there's no better place to look right now than the absolutely incredible entrepreneurial boom happening in India. I mean, the speed at which money is moving there is just staggering. Get this, in 1 week, Just between August 4th and 9th, startups in India raised $202 million in 1 week. That is a blistering pace. And that wasn't just a random good week. That $202 million was a 90% increase from the week right before it. That's not just growth, people. That is an explosion. But it's not just about the money. What's even more powerful is the cultural shift happening. And this quote just says it all. When something as complex as startup equity dilution becomes a normal dinner table conversation, even among grandmothers, something fundamental has changed. The entire mindset around entrepreneurship has shifted. Okay, so we've gone through the trends, we've talked about strategies, and we've seen a real-world example. So that leaves us with the big one. Now what? What's your actual action plan? What do you do with all this information? All right, here are 4 things you can do right away. 1. Invest in AI, but don't forget to invest in the people who are going to use it. 2. Start developing sustainable, circular business practices. Basically, design waste completely out of your process. 3. Embrace embedded finance. Make it super easy for your customers to pay you. And 4. Automate everything you can. Build those systems to scale from day one. Now, looking a little farther down the road, your medium and long-term vision needs to get broader. We're talking about building strategic partnerships for expansion and creating resilient supply chains so you're not vulnerable to shocks. And internally, it means every single decision has to be backed by data. And you've got to get ready, both your team and your legal department, for the new regulations that are absolutely coming for both AI and sustainability. All right, last piece of the puzzle. What are the big external things happening out in the world that you just have to keep on your radar? These are the indicators that are going to shape the whole business environment for everyone. Think of this as your watch list. You've got to be monitoring Federal Reserve policy. That controls the money flow. You need to watch for new regulations on crypto and AI governance. And you better be paying attention to new sustainability reporting standards and the overall resilience of global supply chains. These are the big headwinds and tailwinds that are going to define the game in 2025.
So that's our breakdown, and it really leaves you with one big question to think about. In a world that's being completely reshaped by AI and sustainability, which one of these powerful trends are you going to leverage first?